Hey, what are you doing? I came out to check on you.
I blindsided my wife.
What are you doing? Thought you were working.
Dan is fine.
I've had this spool of wire for like 40 years. 40 years of my life is in the wire that's gone.
Some people that said it was a setup or planned, no, dude.
I'm sorry to hear that, and I'm sad for you, but you're wearing your Jets hat, and I'm a little concerned right now that you're wearing your Jets hat. I thought that's why you were crying.
Okay, I'm done.
I know that we've had a lot of comments about our video, none of which I took personally.
So I can't thank everybody enough for all the comments that you have sent to us.
I'm back. Mommy is home. You can thank Brittany Venti for my 2-week ban. I guess it was perfectly okay for her to seduce a minor on her live stream, but not okay for other people to call it out. So shout out to you, Brittany. This is my new dog. His name is Ghost, and he's stinking adorable, isn't he? Aren't you cute? Yeah, he's a Pomsky, a Husky and a Pomeranian. How those two even managed to make a baby, I have no idea, but this is what came out of it, and isn't it cute? A lot has happened in these 2 weeks in my personal life. I got my wisdom tooth removed. That's amazing. They let me keep it too. It's fucking massive. Today's video, I really want to highlight the spool of wire guy, because not only did his video go viral, but then his wife got so insecure that she made a video basically saying that her man was fine. Yeah, he is fine. At least that's what he'll tell you anytime you ever ask him if he's okay, ever the fuck again. If you're not familiar with the spool of wire guy, here's the video.
Hey, what are you doing? I came out to check on you.
I'm looking at this.
What is it?
It's wire. Can you see the spool of wire?
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost out of it.
Okay.
And I've had this spool of wire for like 40 years. But it's like 40 years of my life is in the wire that's gone. Does that make sense? This is what's left. Does that make
I'm
sense?
sorry to hear that, and I'm sad for you, but you're wearing your Jets hat, and I'm a little concerned right now that you're wearing your Jets hat. I thought that's why you were crying.
Okay, I'm done.
So instead of the wife taking some accountability and being like, oh, goddamn, maybe what I did was super damaging, she went on the internet, basically blamed the internet and said that it's not her fault and her man is fine. And then when that didn't work, she then went and found her husband and made him stick up for her. And I'm going to show you both of those videos today because it is probably the most diabolical thing I've seen on the internet. But first, I just want to update you about what happened this week. So I have discovered in the last 2 weeks that feminism is not about equality, especially in America. It's about supremacy. And how do I know this? Because every single time I post about the male suicide rate, about lowering it, I am met with extreme misogyny and violence in the comments. Like only women would trivialize and make a big deal out of a post about lowering the suicide rate. This is the post I'm talking about. I said there have been 79,342 registered global suicides this year, and 83% of them were men. Men are suffering. Hashtag men matter. So you would think, wow, these women want equality. Surely they don't want their sons to die and their fathers, and absolutely the fuck not. Let me show you, let me highlight some of my favorite comments that came out of that video, okay? Tell them to smile more. They obviously could benefit from it. We don't give a fuck. Every man talking about how suicidal and depressed they are, I tell to go to therapy, and they immediately get defensive. Oh, wow. I wonder why. As if therapy isn't the fucking cure for happiness. Absolutely, it could fucking help. But maybe they're getting defensive because they're communicating and you're basically saying, go write it in your fucking diary. Who set that system up? Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, because that makes sense. My buddy, as a teenager, he committed suicide, and it's his fault because he promoted what system are we talking about here? The patriarchy? Because I think men killing themselves at an extremely alarming rate would by default make society eventually matriarchal, don't you fucking think? But according to these feminists, it's their fault. And it's men that make other men uncomfortable to talk about their struggles. Hilarious, considering this entire comment section is full of women making men feel uncomfortable. Only men shoot down men who express their feelings. A woman literally expressing men's feelings for them, and they get angry and fucking violent in the comments. Men only receive flowers at their funeral. Then how about you give some of your homies some? Stop making it women's responsibility to cheer you up. Male loneliness is an epidemic. Make a friend that you can talk about your feelings to. It's not our fault. It's not our problem. I find this so funny because if I were to use this ideology on literally any other topic, I would just look like an absolute bigot. Lesbians take up the majority of the domestic violence rate, right? So could I look at those women who have been murdered by their female perpetrators, right? I could be like, well,
it's your fault because you promoted a system that doesn't highlight women as perpetrators. Therefore, you didn't educate other women onto how evil they can be. So it's your fault, actually.
Tell that to men. Women have been telling them to seek therapy for years. I love how this is just their fucking go-to. Just go to therapy. I read the comments to that video. I actually sobbed. Like, I sobbed. I had a full-blown just fucking meltdown because I don't understand how I ended up in a society that hates men so fucking much that you can't even talk about lowering the suicide rate without them turning it into this like trivial thing where they're just spewing hatred everywhere. It drives me insane. It makes no fucking sense. And it makes me realize that feminism is really, it's about fucking supremacy. Because if you guys wanted equality, you would actually practice like equal thinking. You wouldn't just be like, oh, men are suffering. Haha, women are doing better. It's men's fault. Like, it sounds like supremacy. You are literally like the cousins of fucking white supremacists. You will dehumanize somebody just to bring yourself up. That's supremacy. Don't give a fuck what anybody says. A few weeks ago, I did a video on Bonnie Blue. You guys remember the woman who was going to a college, having boys line up around the block just so that she could break a record of sleeping with over 1,000 men. Well, she did it, and she posted this video on OnlyFans, and OnlyFans has removed the video. They won't allow it to be monetized. They won't even allow it on their platforms because OnlyFans could not confirm the ages of multiple of these guys. OnlyFans looked at the video and said, he looks like a minor, he looks like a minor, he looks like a minor. You have to understand, OnlyFans, like, they're all about exploitation. They'll allow women to sell their fucking souls as long as they can sell a picture of their butthole right along with it. So for OnlyFans to be like, this is a little too much for us, that is fucking saying something. And I've been to college, I've been to university as well, and one thing that I know, hands down, is that I was in college with 17-year-olds. One person I knew was actually 16 because he graduated early. So depending on where your birthday lies, it is a huge possibility that you have a shit ton of, not even a possibility, it is a fact that you have a shit ton of minors in a college setting. So did this woman sleep with a bunch of minors? Very, very fucking likely. You're going to degrade yourself by sleeping with 1,000 men just so you can make some money off of it. And then the platform that's supposed to platform you says, nah, you just took 1,000 dicks for no fucking reason. 1,000 dicks? Before I jump into the spool of wire guy though, I just want to remind you that I have a Patreon. You guys can see ad-free content. You can see literally thousands more content that has never been posted on social media. I do photo shoots. I talk to my Patreons daily. We do mental health check-ins and we just kind of shoot the shit. If you're on the top tier, you get free merch sent to you. And if you've been my Patreon for 2 months or more, you get a hell of a lot more really cool merch, like posters, cups, lots of cool stuff like that. So I really hope to see you over there, because I'm also building a course so that I can teach you guys how to blow up on social media, because a lot of these creators have released courses and they're fucking scams, or the majority of people who are releasing these courses don't know what they're talking about. But me, I've been banned on almost every single social media platform multiple times other than YouTube, and I've made my way back to 1 million every single fucking time. I really understand the algorithm very well, and I have a few people that I'm working with right now, and the one guy, he doubled his analytics in 1 month from working with me. So please come join my Patreon, because that'll be available on there and you guys will get first access.
Hey, what are you doing? I came out to check on you.
Huh?
What are you doing? Thought you were working.
I'm looking at this.
What is it?
It's wire. It's a spool of wire. And I'm almost out of it. Can you see the spool of wire?
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost out of it.
Okay.
And I've had this spool of wire for like 40 years. I bought it like this it's on a piece of a long time ago, but it's like 40 years of my life is in the wire that's gone. Does that make sense? This is what's left. Does that make
I'm
sense?
sorry to hear that, and I'm sad for you, but you're wearing your Jets hat, and I'm a little concerned right now that you're wearing your Jets hat. I thought that's why you were crying.
Okay, I'm done.
So just openly mocks him, doesn't care, completely dismisses it. Like, this is why men don't typically express themselves. And it brings me back to this comment where she was like, it's men who make it not okay for men to express themselves. No, it's the women they date. It's definitely the women they date. Right, so this went absolutely viral. Everybody had an opinion on it. Everybody was like, wow, this wife is a piece of shit wife, you know? So instead of having some humility, maybe making a video being like, you know, I didn't realize how my actions would impact him, you know, if the entire internet is telling me something, I could be wrong. No, that's not how she responded. This is.
Hey everyone, I'm here today to talk about Wiregate. I know that we've had a lot of comments about our video. It's been very interesting to say the least. None of which I took personally.
You should take it personally. You see what she's saying? She's like, I'm not going to take any accountability. I find it interesting that people would sympathize with my husband, but I'm still right.
But what Dan and I did see through all of the comments and all of the responses is that relationships struggle with transparent conversation. Relationships struggle with the honest responses. We have a very unique relationship and we play a lot. And just for the record, Dan is fine.
Is Dan fine? Dan's not even in the video. We play a lot. No, you play with his emotions when he's upset. When he's crying, that's your time to play around with his emotions. We have a hard time with honest responses. No, you do. He was very honest. He was very open about what he was feeling, and you decided to mock him.
And he's going to be home in just a minute. So I bought him an early Christmas gift, and I think you all will be very interested in what it is.
Nobody gives a shit what it is, baby. Nobody cares. This is how I know that this woman is like egocentric and full of herself, because nothing there was like, I realized how my words could have like impacted him, how it impacted other people. So that's why I've decided to buy him this gift. It's like, no. You guys, your comments are entertaining me. So I'm gonna buy him this gift so that you guys will like me again. Okay, so people trolled her for this, trolled her, called her out, said you're still being a narcissist, you're still being a piece of shit. So what did she do? She forced Dan to make a video.
So I can't thank everybody enough for all the comments that you have sent to us about this video that we posted the other day. There were some people that said, some people that said it was a setup or planned. No, dude. I had this feeling about this as I was using this wire a couple weeks ago, and I kept thinking about it, and I decided to just put it on and talk about my life feels like it's dwindling.
I find it so interesting how much she's gaslit him, because she walked up to him and recorded him, and he's trying to like be a good husband and have his woman's back and be like, yeah, we made this video and I've been thinking about this for a while and I wanted to. No, she caught you in a genuine moment, brother. She caught you in a moment where you were like feeling emotional, and she trivialized it and laughed at it.
I blindsided my wife. I asked her to come out and film this because I had this feeling that I just wanted to put this on something, and I did. She had no idea, and she made a joke about my Jets hat, and many people took that as really poor taste. She's the most loving, amazing person I've ever had. Our communication is incredible.
Can you blink if you need help, buddy? Just blink twice. But let me refresh you to the video. Hold on.
Hey, what are you doing? I came out to check on you.
Huh?
What are you doing? Thought you were working.
I'm looking at this.
That's why you were crying.
Okay, I'm done.
Does that come across to you like somebody that was like, hey, baby, come bring out your camera? He's crying. So this is an older man who probably in a million fucking years would not ask his wife to bring out the camera while he's crying so he can talk about a spool of wire. This is a good husband who's trying to have his woman's back and trying to get the heat off of her. It's too bad that his wife doesn't have the same amount of respect for him.
Incredible. What we do have to talk about at the end of the day is men, women, everybody being listened to, because that struck a nerve in a lot of people.
Dude, this is literally heartbreaking. I blindsided my wife. No, dude, you should be in a safe place where you can just communicate your emotions without having to worry about whether or not they're gonna be mocked. And like, look at the way that he got frustrated after she mocked him, right? Like, he's clearly like, okay, like, fuck off. Like, this was not somebody who asked his wife to bring out the camera. What breaks my heart is that he's giving all of this loving, genuine energy to somebody who is clearly just a bitch. Like, I don't want to discredit him when he says that his wife is like loving and nurturing and blah, blah, blah. But I've seen this before when, like, you know, girls are recording their boyfriend and their boyfriend says something outwardly abusive and she posts it online and people are shitting on the boyfriend, but she is still in the cycle of abuse. So she's like, no, guys, no, I know he called me a whore to my face, but he's so good to me. He loves me. I just hate to see the way we gaslight men, right? Like, we don't pay attention to their emotions. We don't fucking listen to them. And then when they do communicate, we don't handle it properly. And then we gaslight them into thinking that they did something wrong. This is a classic, this is how we deal with men's emotions in society. I see it all the time, every single fucking day. And this woman is actually grotesque and awful. But hey, man, if he's happy in his marriage, that's really all that matters. I don't know how you would be happy with somebody that has such extreme eyebrow blindness. Like, lady, that's a whole different color. What is that, gray? But hey, this is the society we live in, where men can be emotionally abused, emotionally manipulated, not cared about, and then they have to apologize for expressing themselves. So I want to hear from you guys. I want to know, like, have you ever been in a relationship where you tried to communicate something and they just shot you down? But not only that, how did that impact you afterwards? I really want to see your guys' response, because I'm going to be making another video based off of y'all's response. I just think that this is way too common for us to do to men, but then feminists will turn around and be like, well, it's men's fault that they don't communicate. Really? Because it was majority men that were sticking up for that guy, and it was majority women saying that men were just being dramatic. So I would really like to know a little bit more nuance into this, and I want to hear your guys' stories, so please share that with me. And super quickly before I go, I just want to shout out Bachatoni. They have been an amazing sponsor for this video. This cologne right here literally smells like baby Jesus. Like, I don't mean to offend anybody, but if baby Jesus had a smell, this is exactly what it would smell like. These colognes are incredible. They're so good. They're really elevated, and you're getting like a $200-300 cologne for much, much less. So please go to Bachatoni.com, use code RomaArmy for 20% off the entire site. They also have these huge beard oil kits. This is all genuine leather. It's got lots of oils, brushes. I'm going to be using it on my man, and I'm going to be posting a video for you guys. So Bachatoni.com, please make sure you use code RomaArmy for 20% off. Do not miss your discount, and it is so fucking great to be back screw Brittany Venti. It's crazy how like accountability for women is not the same as men. Like if a man were to sit on his platform and live stream himself trying to seduce a literal minor, he would have no career. But Brittany Venti did it, still had a career, and when other people call her out, she just copyright strikes them, makes it so that they're banned on their channel. Like, this is accountability for women 101. So I'm glad she's off the internet. That woman is like the biggest bigot incel I've ever met in my entire life, and I'm just so happy she's gone. Make sure you check out my Patreon, or else you're missing out on like half the story and half the content. I hope to see you there. See you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.